Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to Death Note. It is episode 17 and as always, if you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the parentheses dot parts with real dots and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this episode, so see you soon. To those that came back, welcome back. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. It just turned like 180 because it feels to me like we will have some episodes at least of Light investigating against Kira, because right now they are completely separated people. And we've seen in this episode by the statement of L, in the opinion of L, and I think he's pretty good at estimating people, Light changed from the person he knew before. So the Light we have learned to know while he was Kira is at least partially different from the Light that he is now again. So, and I can see that the use of the Death Note, killing people, the power that came with it, changed the person that Light was, changed his view on life, his view on people. Sure, some of it was already in there, but it kind of, let's say, made him worse, right? Made him become more towards the personality that is Kira. Light, in the end, was Kira at this time, right? Now the version that he's now, having forgotten all of this, is the Light that he was before. More innocent, more human, more idealistic in many ways of thinking you shouldn't treat people like that, right? So he's not willing to use Misa or to play something to her that is not right, while the Light version that Kira was did it, right? He would have agreed without second thought there. He would be like, yeah, okay, cool. So there's a difference in character. And that's gonna be interesting because the Light that we have now is upset about what happened to him and to his father due to being accused of being Kira. So he is upset against Kira, not so much against L, although I guess there might be a bit of it in. But he is upset against Kira and he kind of hates him for what he went through. So he will really try to catch Kira. That's gonna be interesting because in the end, he is hunting himself. He possibly will check what they have on data so far. So maybe, just maybe, he will find some clues that, however that happened, L did not see. And I'm kind of waiting for the moment when Light will realize something like, that's weird. Sure, one thing is, it's all pointing out towards me, right? Or a lot of it. And then there will be moments, I guess, like, that really is like me. The way that this person, that Kira acted, is like me. So much. And I'm waiting for it, if there will be moments of doubts and of questions. And I really wait for the moment of, if there's like a struggle happening between Light, the personality, and Kira. Maybe when he becomes Kira again, when he remembers, will there be a moment where he questions himself? Will there be a moment when there's a fight inside of him of the good and evil that he is at this time? The good Light, properly named there, right? The Light side of him. And the Kira side, the darkness, the egomaniac, the god complex. This fight we did not really have before because he changed slowly over time, more and more into Kira. He became more and more full of himself, right? And if we will have a sudden change, which will be somewhere in the future when he touches the Death Note again and remembers again, the moment he is Kira again, will he, I mean, he has to realize, he has to understand and remember what happened in the time that he wasn't. What will his reaction be? Will it be a complete change of character again? Will it be completely Kira and no doubts? And will be like, I was so innocent and so I was kind of cute, you know, but now I know that it is me and whatever? Or will there be a moment of, Kira, I am back, right? And it's good, and I do what I do, and it is right? And an internal voice, Light, saying, no, it is not. what you're doing is wrong? Will there be this moment? It's a really, really interesting idea and interesting concept because it's moving towards psychology, split personality, stuff like that. There's a lot of potential. I really look forward to that. The other thing is, I'm really sorry for L, because for him, this has to be so, I mean, on the one hand, intriguing and interesting, but on the other hand, nerve-wracking and brain-wracking, because it just makes sometimes no sense, right? I mean, he has to be aware right now that this is some supernatural stuff. Something completely abnormal. If it would be only one person, you could guess it is like split personality, right? Light and Kira being the same person, but split personality. Kira just came out sometime, whysoever. Whysoever he has his abilities and he forgot it. Okay, you could go with that. It would work, kind of. But then there's Misa, and she's doing exactly the same. So how should someone have the exact same psychological defect, to call it that way, like Light has? So it's very unlikely. Something else is going on. For L, this has to be an interesting mix of hell and heaven at the same time, because it is fascinating. Talking about hell, the poor father, I mean, seriously, he has gone through some shit now. However this happens, I'm pretty sure the dad will be broken in the end. He is more neither already, so he just keeps up a facade. Because he realized after Light and Misa were set free that they were not really off the hook, right? Misa's still being watched. Light is bound to L 24/7, so he's not really off the hook. He's just out of confinement, and that's a difference. So, it is, yeah, hardest for him, I guess. And it's an interesting thing. I'm waiting for the mother and the daughter, or slash sister, to react, because 50 days of father and son being gone. Even if they said, like, we are on vacation, a family, which family would do that, right? You do at least make a call. I mean, the dad did make calls, as far as I know, to keep the family like everything is normal. I think that was something they talked about before. But Light is still gone. And it's a weird situation. So I wrote some stuff down, sure, but there was some major things I wanted to get off, because it was just great, a really good change, and a really nice and interesting change of what this series will be about in the next episodes, due to using Light as the enemy of Kira. So good. So what I wrote down is about Rem. So there was a way how he solved it. Rem was given instructions. It was this: I will save Misa, as Rem wants, right? And therefore, you will go out and find people who pledge to kill as Kira did before, so that it looks like Kira did it, right? And therefore, they are allowed to use the notebook as they please, the Rem's notebook. And yeah, that makes sense. Rem did that. Interesting, however, is who he chose. So, question is, was that on purpose by Kira? Did he kind of set up to send it to this organization, or whatever kind of organization? It makes at least a bit of sense, because they are more structured, more logical thinking, being persons of power. They have more to lose, so they're more carefully in what they're doing. They are better at planning. We have seen in case of Misa how stuff like that can go wrong if you give it to someone who's not very experienced. So the Yotsuba group, I guess we will hear a little bit more about them. And they do have like a shadow council now, 8 people. There were names, I did not write them down, I'm sorry. I wrote down the first 2 that were mentioned, and then it was like all 8 of them at once, and I was like, okay, I tried to remember their faces, right? So we will see them, I guess. Right now they're being used. I think it makes kind of sense that Kira chose them, kind of said this group, right? And sent Rem to them, because if later on Kira will take up the notebook again, he will be able to instantly kill them, because he knows who they are. he will just, I guess that he said, I choose this Yotsuba group, go for them, give it to them, and they don't know who he is. But when he is back, and just to minimize dangers and risks, he will just write down in the notebook every name of every member of this group, not only those 8, possibly the whole company, and they will all die. And however that happens, right? Possibly like a huge attack from another group, I don't know, or disaster, whatever. I think that's a clever move. So that's how he did it. Nicely done. The play that the father of Light had to do to act as though they're being executed. Yes, I see why. Because if they would have the power and the consciousness of their powers, it would not have happened. Light Kira would have stopped his father when it is about his life, but then you have the problem of the time. There is some time between writing down and it happening, which is a bit weird because I'm not sure if Elle is aware of that, but we do know that it's not an instant kill. You need some time, right, between writing down and killing. Misa would have very likely killed the father, no question there, because she loves Light and does not really care much about the father. And so she would have done it, but it was a game, so it was a test. Is there at the moment a consciousness, a knowledge deep inside, and they're really good at hiding it, and it worked out. I think I'm a bit surprised that Elle used the father, because I honestly think it would have made more sense to use someone else, because there is still a barrier of killing your own blood, right? And we know that even from Kira, that he said someone in the beginning he will not go against his family. I agree with Elle, however, that may have changed by now. As I said, there was a small descent of what Kira is willing to do, or Light in this case, and it changed more and more to a darker side. Light got darkened by Kira over the time, so I guess as well that he would go against his family if it would be really, really necessary in his opinion. But it is like one of those last steps. So if you, as a driver, you instead take someone else who's like, I lost people due to Kira or whatever reason, right? You can just think of something, and he is about, I will kill you now. I think that would have made it easier for them to try it if they would have had the powers, which they don't. So, however, Elle now knows they are not able to do it right now. So what he needs now is to use them to find out more, and if they ever get their powers back, to find that moment, to realize that moment. Now Kira's back. What happened? It was the exact moment that he catched an apple. Apples. Just saying, I still don't get why Kira ever told Elle about the apple, but whatever. So it's that's gonna be good next episodes. I can clearly see that, and I look forward to it. I hope you do as well. That's it from me this time. Until the next time, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.